examination, I get only 10 out of 50. You can imagine the clear bifurcation. A student doing exceedingly well in the internals, but when it comes to externals, he or she getting not even pass marks. But when you sum up the two, he or she somehow qualifies. Now, all these things, we fully automated it. The attendance is taken on the laptop, we had put a system or an application in position. The professor, as soon as he or she entered the class at 5 minutes to 9 or at 9 o'clock, had to open, log in through a password and a biometric enabler, and then take the attendance. The system automatically shuts off at 9:05. So even if I want to give attendance to you, because number one, you are related to me, or because there is a consideration involved, the system will not permit you. The system will also ensure that the professor comes on time, because I can log in only between 5 minutes to 9 or 10 minutes to 9 to 5 past 9. After 5 past 9, I can't log in. If the professor comes late, the system will say, sorry, you can't log in. So the principal or the director will know that this professor today has come late. So look at the accountability aspect of this application. Now similarly, in the first semester examination, suppose a student does very well or does not do so well, every semester examination or class test, we have taken the mobile numbers of the parents or the guardians. So after I qualify in the first test, all these marks were communicated on SMS and email to the concerned parents. So the parents come to know how their daughter, their son or whatever, perform in the semester examinations or in the class test, both internal and external. Similarly, library books, how many library books were taken, for what duration, so on and so forth. Now, we introduced literally, it was only not accountability, it was literally more of transparency. And the last thing that we did was, suppose I am teaching clinical trials, okay, in the first year, or you take radiology, which is one of the courses that you take up in the first semester. I'm a professor of radiology. Now, I have, in the past 10 years that I have been teaching in this particular institution, 5,000 students have passed out. Now, what I did on the website, I gave the list of names of these 5,000 students. How much they scored in the internal, how much they scored in the external for this particular professor over the last 10 years. Okay? Now the professors were extremely unhappy. Okay, I'll tell you why. Now, we have put in a position where information flow was systematized and was system enabled. If I paid my fee because my parents sent 10,000 rupees to me to be paid as fee for the month of October 2012, the moment I paid the fee, an SMS used to go to my parents, your son, your daughter today has paid the fee. Suppose they send the money to me and the money is not paid before 20th October, which is the last day, it said the SMS used to go or an email used to go that your child, your son, your daughter has not paid the fee by 20th of October, which was the last day. So at every step, we only enabled information flow. Be it the attendance of the professor, be it the attendance of the student, be it the marks scored, the library books issued, okay, how many extracurricular activities were participated in by the students, everything. We just enabled information flow. Now we thought this cannot fail. Why? The parents should have been the happiest lot. Imagine you as a parent or you as a brother or a sister, your brother or your sister is studying in Maulana Azad Medical College in New Delhi or in IIT Mumbai, and you are getting this information periodically, you are very happy. Even if your own brother and sister is not communicating with you, the system is giving you all the information. So, we thought the parents would be the happiest lot. We knew the professors were unhappy. And most importantly, we knew the students were the unhappiest lot. For reasons which you know better than anybody else in this classroom. Because information led to a lot of accountability. Now, you are being tracked on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, what is it that you are doing? Now, before the system, I could tell my parents that I have scored 95% marks in radiology and close to 90% in physiotherapy. Okay, they have to accept whatever I say. But here was a system where the system itself, through an information flow mechanism, told the parents, informed the parents that this is what your ward, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter did. Now, this was in position for 3 months back. And you will not believe it, 4th month, it collapsed like a pack of cards. Okay, now, I knew that students were unhappy with the system for obvious reasons. I also knew that the professors were very unhappy, again for very obvious reasons. Because introducing an element of accountability is something that the medical profession is the last one in India to take. Because the penetration of technology is the least in 2 sectors, and in these 2 sectors we require maximum penetration. One is health, second is education. And in education, health is the worst culprit. They don't permit technology penetration at all. All our attempts have not met with the kind of success that we envisioned when we began with the exercise. But my only disappointment was, I knew the students were unhappy, so when the system collapsed, I never expected a student to protest. See, I was enjoying the system, why don't you put the system back in position? I didn't get a protest, understandably. I didn't get a protest from professors, again, understandably. But what was shocking was, parents did not object to it. See, in the 4th month, once the information flow stopped, I thought some parents will come to us and say, see, I was getting all this information so regularly, okay, which I never got in the first 6 months of my son's or my daughter's admission. I started getting, and I'm extremely happy. I know things are all okay, and everything is in order. Not a single parent protested from month 4 onwards. And, we were totally shattered, As I said, you are only trying to increase transparency. We are not doing anything. We are just putting an information flow in position which will inform every stakeholder what he or she should be informed. But not a single parent protested. And in view of the fact that every stakeholder was unhappy with the system failed. Okay, this was in a government medical college. We are now trying to see if we can put it in a private medical college. Let's see. Because we are determined to ensure that, as I said, you go to a hospital, be it the best hospital in the country or the best hospital in the world, one section will be fully computerized, very efficient in giving information, and there is a billing section. Okay? You go to any other section, imagine the plight of a patient, of an inpatient. I don't know if you have had that experience, but you don't have that experience. How much time it takes to get an inpatient discharged after the doctor writes for discharge. It takes 7 hours, 8 hours. Okay, for the discharge of a patient, on an average. And I'm giving this figure from the best hospital, the so-called best hospital in the country. After the doctor gives a prescription for discharge, it takes 7 to 8 hours. By the time they settle all the bills, by the time they get everyone's certification. So, except for the billing section, everything is, insofar as the medical field is concerned, they are still in the 18th and the 19th centuries. So, this was, we were totally taken back by the kind of response we got from the second initiative. We thought, at least we are not doing anything against the conscience, against rules. Everything that we put in position was in line with what they were supposed to do. No additional responsibility was assigned to anybody. The professor's job is to teach, they had to teach. The only thing was, instead of entering in a manual register, we said it will be entered on a laptop in an application which was designed for it. And similarly, every information flow either through an SMS or through an email system. That's what we did. But even this very simple application met with the kind of disaster that I just mentioned. It's 3:32 now. I'll stop here, but in case you want to know also, I thought I'll touch on Aadhaar also, because these days almost every day you are reading about Aadhaar. Maybe I'll take it up as a part of Q&A. It's a very good scheme, and hopefully it should lead to a transformation in governance. Because the basic objective, why is it that you use technology? You use technology to enhance governance. E-governance is not about E, as I said, it's about governance. And how do you improve governance? This is a very, very important initiative of the Unique Identification Authority of India. And any idea what is the total subsidy amount in India? I am talking federal government. You know subsidy, no? When you buy a gas cylinder, you pay 430 rupees. Okay? But that is a subsidized rate. Suppose you were to pay the market rate, the same will cost you 1100 rupees. So you are subsidized to an extent of 700 rupees plus per cylinder. You know the total subsidy of the federal government? Just throw a guess.
Around 70,000 crores.
Huh?
Around 70,000 crores.
Any other figure?
So it's about 1.5 crore.
1.5 crores in one item. Huh? Government of India spends 1.5 crore only on food. Okay? Petroleum subsidy is another 90,000 crores. Rural development is subsidy is another 90,000 crores. Now, why I am saying all this is, there are 633 districts in the, I am quoting government of figures. There are 633 districts in the country. When I say districts, in Karnataka we have got 30. You are in Udupi district. So like Udupi district, there are 49 other districts. There are 633 districts in the country. Do you know how much money is spent in every district in the country every year? Including payment of salaries, wages, blah blah blah. Just throw a figure. I repeat my question. In 638 districts, what is the average expenditure incurred every year? It could be, as I said, for development works. It could be for salaries. It could be for teachers. It could be for janitors. It could be for Anganwadi workers, purchase of so and so, building of roads, tube wells, blah blah blah. All put together in a district. Okay, it's 1,400 crores. Okay. Now imagine if I were to give you that money, there should be no poverty in India. Year one, poverty will be eradicated. Okay? And we are spending this money every year. Now, whose money is it? That's why you should be interested. Whose money is it? It's your money. It's your money, your tax money. Now, if your tax money is being used this way, and suppose you introduce technology and account for every rupee that is spent, what happens to the tax burden? Comes down, because you don't require so much money. If you want to eradicate poverty, you require maybe only half that amount, but you are spending 2 times that amount, and not only are you spending 2 times, you are spending it every year, and every year the budget is increasing. Okay? So that's the scenario, and that's why we need technology. So why I gave you this example is, see, unless we use technology to the hilt, there is no solution to the kinds of problems that we are witnessing here. Okay? It could be one very simple analogy which I gave of how technology can help without any cost. Today, mobile penetration in the country is the highest in the world. 92.7% of the country's population has a mobile phone. It's purely statistical. Huh? It doesn't mean 92% population have it. But since there are 970 million plus cell phones, we assume that the per capita will be around 92%. In Bangalore, every day, 50 lakh people use the public bus service. It's called the BMTC, Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation. Now imagine you as one of the passengers commuting and making use of the bus service. You want route number 9. You go to the bus stand at 9 o'clock or 5 minutes to 9. You don't know whether it's coming or not. And imagine the fate of our sisters and our mothers and our daughters who stand in the bus stand at 9 o'clock in the night, not knowing whether that particular route is coming or not. How long should they wait? Should they wait till 9:15, 9:30? Or should they spend money taking a cab or a 3-wheeler back home? Now we just introduced a very simple application, it became very popular. You SMS a 3-digit number. Suppose I am in TAPMI, I just say from TAPMI to Udupi downtown. Okay? I just put this route number 11. Within seconds I get an SMS. Route number 9 is coming at 9:21 p.m. Look at your comfort. You are sure that the bus is coming. Sometimes you get a message, there is no route number 9 coming at after 8 p.m. today, and it's already 9 p.m. You are sure there is no bus. You can as well take an alternative mode of transport. Look at the comfort from a woman's point of view. Okay, and that too, standing in the bus stand after 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the night. It became very popular. We are not trying to scale up the operations in Bangalore and then take it to other cities. It's 3:37, sorry, slightly exceeded. I thought it's good to know some success stories and also very important to know the failures. Yeah, it's all yours.
So the subsidy and the expenses numbers you gave for India, is there any similar numbers available for, let's say, developed countries like I don't know, Canada, US, Europe, something to compare and see?
Okay, they are much worse.
Oh,
they are much worse. I'll tell you why. You see the latest economist intelligence unit. It will give you the the fight between Obama and Romney is a what important point, which you see in the papers every day. How to reduce fiscal deficit in USA, being the largest country in the world in terms of production. Even that country is running a fiscal deficit. And if you look at the US economy in the next 25 years, looking at the age profile, the demographic profile of USA, 25% of the entire budget will go only in supporting the non-productive population. I would say unproductive. Non-productive population, post 65, who consume but do not produce something for the economy. In terms of healthcare, Medicare, pensions, social security, and so on and so forth. So the story is similar, except in some countries in Scandinavia, which are relatively well managed despite high level of taxes. Maybe it's the high level of taxes which sustains it, and their deficit levels are very much within the required levels. We are running close to about 7%, and the permissible limits are between 4 and 5. And people may say, oh, what's the difference here? 4% and 7%, the difference is only 3. The thing is, to reduce it from 7 to 4, it will take a generation for us. Unless you introduce technology, and nobody wants to introduce technology. Yeah, so the picture is dismal with regard to budget deficits.
Can technology introduction lessen corruption? Maybe it follows that.
Only technology introduction can lessen corruption. You see, even in the e-procurement, you consider the local MLA or the local member of parliament. He has given me posting as executive engineer of PWD, hypothetically. I am here because he has got me here. Now, when I build a road which costs 2 crores of rupees, he will expect, naturally, because he has got me here. He has gone to the chief minister, the prime minister, and said that XYZ should be posted in this place. Why? Because XYZ will give me 10% or 15% cut. Now, the e-procurement model takes away this discretion or this latitude insofar as a member of parliament or the MLA is concerned, because he cannot choose the contractor. Maybe I have you as a contractor, and you are not prepared to share any kind of money because you have come through the procurement process, which is very, very transparent with highest level of accountability. Now, earlier what used to happen was the executive engineer decides that you will get the contract, and if you get the contract, you don't mind sharing it. I don't mind if the quality of the road goes down by 30%, as long as there is a share of voting. That was avoided with this. So there was a lot of resistance from people's representatives. I'm not talking of members of parliament or MLAs. At the Gram Panchayat level, which is the lowest level of administration in the country, the Gram Pradhan, the Upa Pradhan, the Gram Panchayat members. Just to give you one more example, this happened yesterday. That's why I'm giving this fresh in my mind. One of the very big producers of a particular metal in the country and in this part of the world came to me yesterday and said, sir, I have purchased 45 acres of land very close to Bangalore. Once you purchase land, what do you require? You require a title, isn't it? Saying that the title should be in my name because I purchased the land. This belongs to this 45 acres, falls within this particular Gram Panchayat. There are 23 Gram Panchayat members, and unanimously, there is no media, no?
No.
Unanimously, they took a decision. They should be paid 5 lakhs each. So 23 into 5 to change the khata of this particular industry from X to Y. I mean, that's the kind of corruption you have. Imagine, you know, I have purchased it, I have paid the stamp fee, I have paid the registration fee. I take the sale deed to the Gram Panchayat, which maintains a property register, and the Gram Panchayat says you pay 5 lakhs per elected member, then only you get the right, otherwise you won't get the right. Of course, then we have to prevail upon, but what I mean to say is, it is so obscene, it is so vulgar. It is not as if, you know, I come and whisper in your ears, please give me 5 lakhs, I will do this. It is decided in an open meeting. That is the level of corruption.
Sir,
Yeah.
point of dissent.
Yeah.
So you said
Please.
technology alone can
Yeah.
avoid corruption. But this example you just gave, see, there can be a technological identification of this going on. But even then, you know, if I want to get it done, suppose I am the person who wants the title to be changed, I might do that in order to get it quickly done. If I am interested in doing it tomorrow, I cannot wait for 1 month or so.
No, but then you have to
The
pay
person
it.
who pays corruption
Yeah.
also is responsible. It's
No,
not
that's what I'm saying. Now, how do I ensure this does not happen? How do I ensure that the Gram Panchayat's right to demand corruption? I'm saying right now. How do I prevent the Gram Panchayat from even demanding? We have put it in Bangalore. What happens is, today I go to a sub registrar's office, you have a marriage certificate.